He was born into slavery, yet he died as one of the most respected thinkers of his age. Epictetus wouldn't have described himself as a teacher. He was a philosopher, a Stoic philosopher, a man devoted to one kind of knowledge, the knowledge that, when lived, equips us to face and overcome life's inevitable hardships. Through his own struggles and the influence of his mentor Musonius Rufus, Epictetus developed insights that drew people from far and wide. Parents brought their children, the wealthy and the poor sat side by side, and even future emperors like Hadrian were said to have listened at his feet. Fortunately, one of his students carefully recorded his teachings, and those notes survived. Across the centuries, these words reached the hands of powerful figures. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, wrote about the gratitude he felt for receiving Epictetus's works. Theodore Roosevelt carried a copy during his perilous Amazon expedition. Admiral James Stockdale leaned on Epictetus's wisdom while enduring years as a prisoner of war in Vietnam. The list of admirers goes on. And after today, you may find yourself joining them, because Epictetus was one of the clearest voices ever to speak on how to live well. Epictetus taught that our first task is to divide the world into two categories: the things outside our control and the choices we make about what is within our control. Where will you find good and bad? He asked. In me, in my choices. That simple distinction can transform a life. Think about it. A flight is delayed by a storm. No amount of shouting at the airline changes the weather. You can't make yourself taller or force someone to like you. Yet people waste their lives struggling against the immovable, instead of focusing on what they can actually shape, their own actions, their own responses. All we truly control is the decision we make right now. If you learn to separate what's up to you from what's not, you'll be calmer, happier, and far more effective than those trapped in battles they can never win. Epictetus also said, "It's not events that disturb people, but their judgments about them." This insight reshaped modern psychology. Albert Ellis, founder of cognitive behavioral therapy, credited this very line as his inspiration. Something happens, we decide it's unfair. Someone speaks, we decide it's insulting. But notice, the event is neutral. The meaning is our opinion. And opinions can be changed. If someone provokes you, Epictetus warned, remember, your mind has agreed to be provoked. You have the power to withdraw that consent. Another reminder, never believe you've learned it all. It's impossible to learn, Epictetus said, what you think you already know. He modeled humility, always searching for lessons from anyone and anything. That mindset, open, curious, hungry, fuels progress. Each day he asked, have I made progress? That question still matters today. Instead of celebrating what you already know, look for what you still need to learn. Epictetus often compared hardship to training. The true character of a person, he said, is revealed in difficulty. Life pairs us with tough opponents, not to break us, but to strengthen us. We can label hardships as unfair, or we can see them as practice, a sparring partner preparing us for greatness. Epictetus himself, rising from slavery to wisdom, embodied this idea. He didn't say, just accept suffering. He said, work with it, use it, transform it. Hardship, to him, was fuel. Seneca, another great Stoic, lived in Rome during violent and unstable times. He too turned to philosophy for guidance. We suffer more in imagination than in reality, he wrote. His life was filled with setbacks, illness, exile, betrayal. Yet his message was clear. Most of our misery comes not from reality, but from our fears of what might happen. Pain and loss are inevitable. Tormenting ourselves with endless worry is not. Seneca also insisted that adversity is essential. As fire tests gold, he said, adversity tests strong men. A life without struggle is a life without proof of what you're capable of. That's why he urged his readers to welcome difficulty, to deliberately challenge themselves, and to surround themselves with people who make them better. He reminded us, the people closest to us shape who we become. Choose them wisely. And death, Seneca returned to this subject often. He warned against postponing life, against acting as if we had forever. Each day that passes belongs to death, he said. Life isn't short, we just waste much of it. His counsel, live immediately. Don't delay joy, meaning, or courage. Marcus Aurelius, emperor and philosopher, carried the Stoic torch into the 2nd century. His Meditations, a private journal, never meant for publication, is one of the most remarkable books in history. Written during war, plague, and political crisis, it was his way of applying Stoicism as medicine for the soul. Marcus was honest about daily struggles, like the temptation to stay in bed. He reminded himself that he wasn't made to huddle under blankets, but to do his duty as a human being. Even as emperor, with unlimited power to indulge, he pushed himself to rise early, to live with purpose. His most famous insight is that the obstacle is the way. Life throws obstacles at us. We can retreat, complain, or resist, or we can turn obstacles into opportunities. Just as fire consumes everything thrown into it and turns it into flame, Marcus believed we could transform setbacks into fuel for growth. When plague, floods, and wars tore through his empire, Marcus didn't complain in his journal. He focused instead on responding with courage, justice, moderation, and wisdom. He reminded himself, you can't always choose events, but you can always choose virtue. He also practiced memento mori. You could leave life right now, he told himself. Far from depressing, this thought energized him. Mortality strips away what doesn't matter. Death is certain, but the time we have now is uncertain. So live. Do what matters. Don't waste a moment. That's the essence of Stoicism, from Epictetus to Seneca to Marcus Aurelius. Life will test you. Pain, loss, and hardship are guaranteed. But you have power over your choices, your perspective, your response. And in that power lies freedom, resilience, and even joy. So the question is, when your moment comes, how will you choose to respond?